If you get in the ring and immediately start doing stuff, and you do a bunch of stuff together, this is something I'm always telling the guys here, like when I'm talking about sequences with you, Mark, or with you, Neil. When you do a whole bunch of stuff, it looks easy because you've done 5 or 6 or 7 things, and the most you're going to sell at the end is one of them, because you can't sell them separately. You can only sell one at a time. Whereas if you sell things individually, when you do less, then what you're doing actually looks more painful. You get more heat, and you get more credibility for doing less. And that's where more is less came from. It's actually legit. It's not a play on words. It is completely true. Because when you do 3 or 4 head scissors or variations of Hurricane Ranas and things like that, or a whole bunch of drop kicks, and the guy sells a certain amount, if you've done one, and he sells like he broke his jaw, and the referee's checking on him doing a 10 count or something, that looks like you hurt him a lot worse. If you get a big pop, people come back and go, wow, did you hear the pop that Canadian Destroyer got? I get a big pop for taking off my pants. That means that people are reacting. It doesn't mean that it's good. How many people are in the crowd? Probably about 50. How many people are going to be there next time? None more, not based on that Canadian Destroyer. Not based on the fact that you just pretty much mocked every jockeying for a hammerlock, you mocked every body slam, you mocked every suplex by doing something so incredibly stupid.
It should be always believable. You can have 10 matches in a row on a card or whatever, if that's quite a heavy card, but and if one guy throws one really phony looking punch, technically if it looks phony, it is phony, that ruins it for the whole thing. It's like
let's take a steel chair here, Kieran, okay? So as I turn around, I want you to be in position so you're feeding me forward, okay? Perfect. If you're watching Jackass or something like that, you're going to see a guy, and this isn't knocking on you, this is what everybody does. If you're watching Jackass, someone's going to go, hit me with a chair. If you're watching boxing or UFC or some even remotely legitimate form of entertainment, of sports, of competition, if someone throws something at your head, you're going to go like this. You're not going to go like this. And the fact of the matter is that you get a lot more mileage out of taking chair shots like this than taking one like that. So if you take one like that, you clearly wanted to take it, therefore there is no tension. No, get off! Get off! Get off! When Foley went off the top of a cell, did it create $1 of draw besides the curiosity of people wanting to see a guy fall off a cage and go splat on the concrete? The one thing we did do is that once you see a guy go off a cage, the next time a guy takes a snapmare, what's the crowd going to do? Boring. Boring. Hey man, get up and do the thing again.
You get combinations, you get boys that can perform well, wrestle in the ring, and then some of them are like baseball players. They're pretty good on the stick too. They can talk a little bit. Or you get a good basketball player that can play basketball, and you ask him his name on television, he can tell you his name. He's smart enough to, and he can sell the game while he's talking. Wrestlers that could do a good job of exposing themselves, on television, and they had it half licked then.
There's psychology within a match in terms of building the fast parts and slow parts. There's also psychology of the match on the show.
Well, different wrestling matches have different purposes. Like the opening match is the most important match in a sense, from like a TV show should open with a hell of a hot match, and the commentators should be able to sustain your interest with little perks about what's coming up. And
we don't want people to pretend to hit each other with mallets and sledgehammers and bullshit like that. We want the show to start off briskly, fun, 2 characters that look like wrestlers and get the fans into it. If it's only a 1-star match, it doesn't matter. As long as the fans are into it and happy and the babyface wins, we're rolling. The mid part of the show is where we build up feuds, we build up characters, we build up storylines. We might have one of our big guys come in and destroy a smaller guy in a 5 or 6 minute match because we're grooming him for the main event. Then we get in towards the main event. If we have enough matches in the card, you only need 5 matches in the card, but you have sufficient matches. The semi-main event is usually a lesser match, a less important match, and then you got the main event. That's where you use your bullshit. If you got to use a chair or something, which you don't, that's where you do it. If you're going to do a DDT, if you're going to do something off the top rope, that's where you do it. And the whole show has to have continuity. If you're going to have someone bleed 9 times out of 10, that's where you're going to do it. So when you're getting in there and having a good match, remember, if you watch America's Most Wanted, and they do all the WrestleMania near falls and every goddamn match they do, and the match was over 17 times before finally a chick gets in, kisses the guy, and he takes a bump, and somebody pins him. They do that their matches in the middle of the show, their finishes are always that construction. So when they're in the main event, it's an amazing way to finish off a show. It's a giant cage match with a cage walk and 17 near falls. But if you do that the third match in the show, then the next 3 matches are fucked. Because there's no way, after all that adrenaline, after all that working and screaming and all those close falls and all that stuff and all the run-ins that they do in every mid-card match in TNA, that people are going to react to the next match. They're going to run out of steam.
And another important element of the business is behind-the-scenes interaction, especially more so than ever now. You got to be able to get along and instill confidence and enthusiasm and have guys respect you and all like that. So that's a really important part of it too now that I try to impart to guys. Like it's essential that you get along with everybody and be perceived as a team player, not a self-centered egomaniac like some people I know pretty well.